The number one deciding factor versus a good bodybuilder and a great bodybuilder versus somebody who doesn't really do anything in the gym versus somebody who's really impressive. The number one factor is mental. It's mental toughness and it's mental determination. That's what I'm going to break down in this video is how you can be mentally tough in the three most important aspects in bodybuilding and in the gym and how you apply that mental toughness to give you the edge over everyone else. Guys, really simple. People will say it's genetics. Oh, it's genetics. He's in the top 10%. I'm just a low responder, blah, blah, blah. Guys, like 90% of us are all in the same boat. Yeah, there are a couple hyper super responders with great genetics. They're on the Olympia stage. There's a couple people on the other end that are not. But 90% of us are all in the same boat. Genetics has nothing to do with it. It just really doesn't for a vast majority of us. The other thing you're going to hear is gear, PEDs, right? Performance enhancers. That's not as big of a factor either, to be honest with you, because if you don't have the mental toughness, you're not going to take advantage of it. Hop on TikTok right now. Scroll like 10 things down. How many people are you going to see that are enhanced that do not look enhanced? It's a waste of time if you don't have that mental toughness. And it's the mental toughness to not only push through plateaus, but be consistent. So the two key things is using your mental toughness, number one, to be consistent, number two. And I'm going to break it down into three factors in the orders that I think are the most important. We're going to start with number three for mental toughness, and that is going to be your workouts. If you have the mental toughness to push your workout close to failure and do that consistently, that is the most important factor. Yes, we can talk about how important it is to be hitting certain muscle groups, to be hitting things 2 times a week, how it's optimal to train a certain way. And that is important to a degree. But a big chunk of that pie is pushing close to failure within about 2 to 3 reps of failure. It doesn't have to be straight failure every single time, but within 2 to 3 reps of actual failure, that's what we're pushing to, and having the toughness to do that every single time. I do not go to the gym and work out. I don't if I don't think that I'm going to have a solid workout. And that happens very rarely. But there are some days when I'm just not going to show up and give it like 60, 70%. Okay, I have to go in, and if I'm going to be there, I'm going to give it 100%. And it's having that mental toughness to go in there and not just push weight around comfortably. Push yourself to be uncomfortable. Push that muscle to grow. If you are not pushing close to failure, you're wasting your time and you can't get comfortable with it. You have to do it consistently, right? So that's our first one, is going to be that mental toughness and working out. That'll already separate you from a large group of people. Number two is going to be with your recovery. Recovery is such an incredibly important factor. When you're actually working out hard and you have that down, then you need to establish your recovery. And it's a toughness factor. I cannot tell you how important drinking enough water and getting enough sleep is. There are lots of guys who go to the gym and work out hard. There's tons of them. But those are the same guys that are not getting 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep and are not doing all of their recovery basics. I do not want to come home every night and do mobility work for 30 minutes and then take my Theragun, and work through my sore muscles. And I maybe don't want to go to sleep every night super early, but it's incredibly important for your recovery. It's incredibly important for your recovery. So having the mental toughness to tell yourself, no, I'm going to bed. No, I'm not going to drink every single night. No, I'm not going to party every single night. That's the difference, man. It's a sacrifice. And it's a mental toughness to be able to make that decision. So once you have the working out, if you can work out hard, you've already eliminated, bettered yourself from a large percentage of people. Then if you're maximizing your recovery, what's the third and the most important thing? It's diet. And I hated to hear that, man. When I started working out, I looked like this right here. It's 120 pounds. This is what I look like now. A majority of that comes out of diet. A vast majority of that comes out of diet. And that is the hardest freaking thing. That's what separates the most people. If you work out hard, you're in 50%. If you then maximize your recovery, you're in the 80%. But if you can nail in your diet and be consistent with it, that's what puts you in that like 2%, where you're the biggest MF at the gym, where you're the most cut dude, you're the most ripped dude. It's the diet, and most people don't have it. Most people just don't. I've been coaching for a while now. They can't do it. And what I'm talking about specifically is bulking, especially if you're a skinny kid like I started out. The consistency and the mentalness to bulk solid is so freaking hard. I hate eating excessive amounts of food. I absolutely hate it. I mean, I do it all the time. I've been bulking for, it seems like 8 years, right? On and off. But I hate eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories. And it is so freaking hard. If you have tracked your macros and you eat actually good food, not junk food, not Sam Sulek diet. Sorry, Sam. But if you actually eat good whole food, it's hard to eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories. And you have to do it every day. You have to do it every single day, and you have to do it every day for months. And you cannot fall off. And that's what puts you in that 2%. That's what's going to divide you from everyone else is the ability to do that for a year, because most people can't. Most people are too weak. They cannot force themselves to eat an ungodly amount of food every single day, 7 days in a row, 30 days in a month, 12 months in a year. Most people cannot do that. You have to start early. I have to eat in the morning. I can't push 5,000 calories in the evening. I have to, every couple hours, have the discipline to force myself to eat. Every couple hours, force myself to eat, to be uncomfortable all day long, every single day for months and months at a time. And not only do that, but you can't have a fall off. I mean, how many times have you guys seen that person post the Instagram picture of fell off for a little bit, but now I'm back in the gym? You can't do that, man. Because I'll tell you, I'm comfortable eating like 1,500 calories a day. And if I just fell off for a couple months and didn't force down food, I would lose all of the progress I made in the last 10 months. I would drop so much weight so fast. So how did I get from this size to that size? Man, it's literally having the consistency to force down food and then not have a fall off where I lost that weight. And forcing down food every single day. You can't do it 4 days a week. You can't do it 5 days a week. You can't have a bad day. It has to be every single day. And that's the mental difference, man. Everyone wants to make excuses about, oh, it's genetics, oh, it's PEDs, oh, it's stuff like that. No, most people are not able to push themselves to exhaustion during a workout and maximize their recovery and force down food and do all three of those things consistently for years. It takes years to build this. I mean, this is 70 pounds of muscle that would probably take 3 to 5 years. Do you have to do that for 3 to 5 years? Most people can't do it. But if you want tips on how to do all three of those, subscribe to the channel. I post free content multiple times a week. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'd be happy to help you guys. I offer coaching as well. And check out more videos on the channel. Get big, get swole, be mentally tough, practice small.